Hi, my name is Ellen Kahui. I've taught in the school systems for many years and now own my own business called Explore Science Beyond the Classroom. Students come here from all over South Carolina to have a hands-on experience with science. It all started with an innocent idea of growing vegetables without having to weed the garden. Our farm pig, Anna, has the joyful job of excavating all the weeds after harvest. Anna loves her job, but I was looking for a better way to grow lots of vegetables and not have to weed. I had no idea that the project would evolve into the study of ancient cultures, the engineering of float valves, and the use of pumps, testing nitrates and nitrites in water, finding out about the floating island of plastics, and some amazing and tasty creatures called tilapia and Australian red-clawed crayfish. So come along with me as I share with you the wonderful adventure we had in the world of aquaponics. We started the unit by introducing the three major cultures in antiquity that employed aquaponics: the Aztecs, the Chinese, and the Babylonians. Next, we learned about the two major players that are used today in aquaponics across the globe: tilapia and Australian red-clawed crayfish. Students got to see four tilapias that are in the classroom aquarium. They learned some of the principal conditions these fish need to survive: how quickly they grow, how they harbor their eggs in their female's mouth, what they eat, and where they originally came from in the Mediterranean. In this aquarium, I built two aquaponic systems above the aquarium and added two bell siphons that keep the water at the correct level for growing plants. Students got to go outside and see how I set up a simple aquaponic tank containing Australian red-clawed crayfish. They're growing arugula in floating rafts above the crayfish. And these crayfish get to be huge, and aquaponic farmers call them freshwater lobsters. Amazingly, plants grow 7 times faster in water than soil. The fish fertilize, add nutrients that the plants need, and the fish are all organic and pesticide-free. Now that's an awful good deal for the fish, for the plants, and for humans. The fish do all the work, and we don't have to weed. Everybody wins. After the students visited the greenhouse and saw the floating raft aquaponic system that has goldfish in water, we set to work to create our own aquaponic systems. Students were encouraged to bring in recycled 2-liter or 1-gallon plastic bottles. We cut off the tops and added a substrate of gravel at the bottom. Then we added water that had already gone through the nitrogen cycle from my aquarium. Next, we added either a goldfish that they fished out of the greenhouse aquaponic tank or purchased a betta fish from the pet store. We fashioned a basket from burlap and glued the sides so that the basket could be lifted off later when it dried. Into the basket, we added gravel and seed of their choice, like lettuce, parsley, or wheatgrass. Regarding the National Geographic Learning Framework, I would say the attitude of the students is definitely one of responsibility for the proper care and feeding of their fish and plants. I noticed that their curiosity was in high gear when their system was completed. They noticed everything about the fish and seeds at the top. They helped each other construct the system, and they were extra careful to handle their aquaponic system gently and with care. We tried to take this project beyond the scale of a personal aquaponic system to a further step beyond themselves. Students made 2 aquaponic systems that we donated to local schools. We hope that by demonstrating this to children in other schools, that the idea that we can grow our own food by creating a symbiotic relationship with fish and plants is a good one. I want this project to spread beyond our class and go on to other regions, even globally. Students watched a National Geographic film called Adventures in Waste by Dr. Jenna Jambat. Disappointing. This part of the lesson was hard for me because I'm a big proponent of Richard Lou's work, The Last Child in the Woods and the Children in Nature Network. They considered how they could curb their own use of plastic and polyethylene microbeads to lessen the load on our environment. One student had on a bracelet that was made from ocean plastic. Another student uses handmade nylon and cotton Velcro bags instead of plastic Ziploc bags in her lunch bag. The scales and perspective regarding this issue are massive, and students really want to help reduce the amount of plastic going into the landfills, lakes, rivers, and oceans. They agreed to use paper, glass, or bamboo straws and reuse as much plastic as they can. I must say that creating this project stretched me more than a little. I've never worked with plumbing supplies before constructing the bell siphons. Regrettably, there was one fairly large overflow of water onto the floor the first time I tried using the bell siphon, and two of the Australian red-clawed crayfish escaped from the tank before we could figure out how to contain them. But other than that, I'm so pleased with this unit, and especially the maturity and character my students displayed with all the knowledge they gained. And someday soon, we won't have to employ Anna the pig to weed the garden for me anymore.